Okay.
What up, guys? Big George is already in the house. Mr. Big Time in the house. So tonight we're going to have Mr. Donovan on. He's been on several other times. He's a great person to be on. And I don't know, I'm sure he'll bring some food into this sometime or another because he always does and always get hate mail from it.
Oh,
So
wait,
that's.
wait. I
I
just
told
finished
you
eating.
he would have
I
his
just finished eating.
I told you he would have his food there for us for the haters that are going to hate about Donovan eating while we're in our show. But that's okay because you know what? That's a business owner, and we can do what we want when you're a business owner. You get the free. You don't only get time freedom, and you don't get financial freedom, but you get to do whatever the heck you want to do because there ain't no boss telling you to what you can and cannot do. So that is what we're going to hit on. But I also want to hit on pricing and there's a couple reasons why I want to hit on pricing. So I just got back from Orlando, or not Orlando. I just got back from ResponsiCon, and it was in Phoenix, Arizona, and most of the people that are in this are very, very big businesses. We're talking larger businesses, but not too big. But there wasn't very many one man shows. Most people had a couple, one or two employees, and the thing that aggravates me the most is when I see people, and even in these groups, and they're not charging premium pricing. They're not even they're charging they're still charging $250 for a house wash. And that I see an issue, and I really see that as an issue as we move into 2022, because I mean I'm talking to a guy that has been in business for 10 years, and we're only at 220. And I know where this isn't the Christmas light channel, but the guy's been doing Christmas lights 4 or 5 years, and he's doing it at $6, $7 a foot. And he's in a very high end area where you can get way more than that. And yes, he did a $500,000, but they about killed themselves trying to get to that 500,000 because you're not charging premium pricing. And when you're not charging premium pricing for pressure washing, you're not charging premium pricing. And I I I've seen a lot of people, and there's people that push different things of, you need to do this coaching, you need to do this, that, and that, other, there. And if you're not going to charge premium pricing, it's going to be hard for you to be successful. And it's too scared to charge what they're worth. And I don't know if they're too scared to charge what they're worth or if they don't know what they're worth. I
Yep.
think it's a little bit of both. So that's going to be our conversation tonight. We'll go in a lot more in depth. I know Donovan gets excited about this about as much as I get excited about it, because it is something that is very important, and a lot of people don't understand it. And if we're not charging enough, we are not able to get those high premium tickets, and we're not able to to do our marketing. We're not able to pay our employees a very good wage. We're not able to take care of our employees. We're not able to take care of our equipment. And so, Donovan, before we get started, just for anybody that might not know who you are, tell us, who are you, where are you from, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jason definitely talked about two different types of guys, and I was the second one. I was one that didn't know um, that I needed to charge premium pricing. I grew up with a entrepreneurial family. My father had a window cleaning company, and from a little kid, I was kind of in the service industry, the service business industry, kind of exposed to it. In high school, I started my own business. And when I graduated from high school, I decided not to go to college. For one, I can barely spell. I can read okay. I can do math, but I wouldn't have done well at college besides college parties.
Got
So,
ADD?
oh man, squirrel, pigeon, yeah, I got all of that stuff that your traditional like standardized testing. Yeah, no, I'm failing. I'm failing everything. I'm just not a standardized type guy. And with that, right? Look, I could have gone to college and all the business lessons that's taken me, what, we're 2022. So what's taken me 15 years to learn, I could have learned in 2 years. Getting a BA or whatever degree. So I'm not down in that. I'm just saying that wasn't me. My story was really just, kind of full of myself. I knew everything. I could go out and make a lot of money. I made more money than anybody else in my age or blah, this, that, and the third. And so I knew everything for 10, 15 years, running my own business, hiring a few people, work when I wanted to work. If I needed more money or a big bill came up, I just go out and work a few more hours. And I kind of developed like a lifestyle business where I wasn't really getting ahead, but I didn't have to do a whole lot and I wasn't falling behind. Unless something big happened, like 2 weeks of rain, and then I'm like, really scrambling. But what I did is I built myself a life of pretty much ease where, I could go and do a little bit of scrambling and I could overcome, any bill that came up. And that's sort of my background. I did that for a while. And then, quite honestly, my girlfriend, we got serious, got married, started having kids, this, that, and the third. And, that's where like life and real responsibilities came in. And my just taking it easy type lifestyle, I was like, well, crap, I need to grow my business. And what I ran into was, because I didn't have that premium pricing type business, I didn't really understand it. It's not that I was afraid, I just didn't know what I didn't know. And worse than that, I thought I did know. So it was even, it wasn't what I didn't know, it's what I did know that was wrong. But I started having kids and responsibility and stuff like that, and then I tried growing my business. And what I ended up happening is I was doing a lot of work, and the more work I was doing, the more money I was losing, and I couldn't quite figure it out. And quite honestly, that was about the time period 3, 4 years ago, Jason. I think we've been buddies since then. That's when I kind of ran into Jason. Jason was the first one, and Fred Zimmerman were the first two guys to really expose me to premium pricing. And I'll tell you this, Fred Zimmerman, he exposed me to Jason. He exposed me to the kind of the service business industry of, power washing and Christmas lights and stuff. And he didn't listen to his own advice, but I just latched onto that premium pricing mindset right away. And I'll tell you this, Fred, I don't want to speak for him, but he exceeded his goal by 6 figures. He exceeded his goal this past year by 6 figures by not doing any more work, by not hiring any more people, but by charging premium pricing. And I will say this, I fell short of my goal, but I still tripled my business with well, I can give a few numbers, right? I guess we're at that point. My business last year, I brought in close to $600,000 with one employee for 95% of the year. So one field technician brought in over $600,000. One person working for me. And that's what premium pricing did for me. And when this year now at this point, I'm up to 4 crews, possibly working on getting that fifth crew started this week. So that one person, that $600,000, multiply that by 5 for this year, and we're at $3 million. So yeah, I did exceed. I did more than 600 last year, but I'm just saying, I had one guy who for 95% of that year, he pretty much brought in that, and that would only happen through premium pricing. So.
And what are some, I always talk about mindset because a lot of this does come back to our mindset. A lot of people just don't get that, our mind can do amazing things, but if we let our mindset not do what we need to do right, it can go to where we're not, where we will start talking about ourselves of, well, I just suck, I'm not that good, or my close rate's terrible, and I'm only at 40% close rate, and I just must suck because I can't close more, and so I must have to lower my prices so I can get up to 60-70% close rate. So and it's really hard when we're at that close rate, especially if we're not able to get that phone to ring. And we're not getting that lead flow that we need to be able to get that phone to ring, so that way we can do the jobs that we need to do. And so, there is some things that we do need to do so we can do premium pricing, but You know,
Yeah.
a lot of times I see people, they're like, well, you know what? I'll raise my prices next year. I'm going to be here because I'll raise my prices next year.
Yeah.
And Donovan is a great example of this. Donovan did this for 8 9 years before he raised his prices where they needed to be. He got
Yep.
by, he lived comfortable, but he could have done a lot better. And by doing that, of letting that, that mindset of, well, you just don't know, is definitely something that we need to, and that's why I'm here. That's why I try to help you guys, is to help grow your business and to help you get to the next level. I love seeing you all succeed. That is, I got to spend a week with Jeremy this week, and Jeremy Main has figured out premium pricing. Jeremy Main was a garbage man a year and a half ago, full time garbage man, picking up garbage off the street in Detroit area. And now last year he did $400,000. He did $200,000 in pressure washing and $200,000 in Christmas lights with one crew, pretty much. And so, that is what happens when you can do premium pricing. Premium pricing is about getting max what you're worth. And I know a lot of times, and I seen it because I seen other people there. He did it with one crew. And there was another guy, he's been coached for 2 or 3 years by a big company that does a lot of coaching, and he did 500,000 with like 4 crews. And it's like, how are you profitable at the end of the day? There's no way that you can be profitable at the end of the day by them saying numbers of what it is. And so just remember that, you can do it. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing special about Don. Well, there might be some things special about us, but
I got a few special things, man. Maybe special ed, but well, let's pause for a second because I think we're starting to get some people watching the live, and we always get one or two comments like this. These guys are just money hungry. What about this, that, and the third? And I really want you guys to understand that most of the people that Jason and I see, and we talk to hundreds, if not thousands, of business owners a year. The successful ones are successful because they have the right mindset, and the ones that are honest and trustworthy and they have good plans with money and they're givers and they give back, they can do more with money. And they still, their goal is to have more money, to help more people, to have the lifestyle that they want. It's not just like the goal for me is not to make more money. The goal for me is to, have my wife live the lifestyle that she wants, have my kids go to a nice school. If I don't like what the school's doing, I want options in my life, right? Let's say I have kids like me that struggled in school. Well, I would love to be able to hire the best, uh, teachers and programs and stuff like that to help my kids learn. That's something I always struggled with. So, I want options. And what I have found is that the premium pricing, that gives you options, right? Competitive pricing, that gives you money. That's what competitive pricing does. Competitive pricing gives you something where so long as you can go out there and break your back, you can go get as much business as you want. But premium pricing gives you options in your life. The only option you have with competitive price is go out and work more, right? It's been one of my goals that I've been working diligently for the last 6 months to a year, that my wife doesn't have to go in and work and do the books and do any of the office type stuff. And that's sort of the trap that we get into. And it's sort of like a balance, like Jason was saying earlier. I need more work, so I have I look at my closing rate. Well, maybe I need to lower my pricing, this, that, and the third. Well, my thing has been, I want my wife out of the office, I want myself out of the field, and even quite frankly out of the business. And how do I accomplish that? Well, I got to have people hired in the office. I got to have people to manage the people in the office. I got to have crews in the field. And then I got to have people to manage the crews in the field. And then who's going to manage those two separate things? It's a long process. And so you go looking at it with competitive price and you're like, the numbers don't work. Growing your business, the numbers do not work. But with premium pricing, now we got options.
But
Um,
Donovan, what about all these $99 guys that are popping up everywhere?
I mean, I was a $99 guy, so I quite honestly, I'll tell you exactly what happens is you max out your schedule. You max out your schedule with $99 jobs, and maybe a small percentage of my jobs were people who would have paid five, six, seven, eight, $900, maybe. But most of my clients were just clients who would just pay $99. That's the part of the market that my services filled. So, now when I'm nowhere near the $99 guy, I don't even give them a second thought. To be honest with you, like I'm just kind of like, yeah, cool, good, good for them. Now I got less $99 people calling me. Like, they can go call the guy with the $89 yard sign, and the $99 guy turns into the $89 guy, who turns into the $79 guy. And I'm just not, good. Again, I've learned through experience that I just don't want that. What I want is to have the extra $99 in profit. That's what I want. I don't want the whole job to be, and then I try to buy cheaper chemicals, and I buy used equipment, and I let my truck rust out, and I stay up till midnight returning emails and phone calls to save money on a receipt. Like, that's the pathway of a $99 guy. Um, I've been there and I've done that. I did it for 10 years. I tried it out, and I got nothing bad to say about the people, because you'll learn from it, or you'll just stay there and you won't grow. You cannot grow your business with the $99 approach. You can't. Um, and then I'll go one step further, and I'll go and I'll say what my one rule is. If you want to have competitive pricing, I had competitive pricing for the longest time. If you want to have competitive pricing, you're allowed to have one small aspect of your business be competitive pricing, and that's called a hook. That's a line that you're throwing out there, and trying to hook a fish. All right. So if you want to do $99 house washing, okay, do it. You do the siding for $99, and then when you go to do the roof, though, it's not $99. It's $999. When you go to the driveway, $999. When you go to clean the windows, $999. Like, don't get stuck that every single aspect of it is $99. Again, the client calls you, it's not false advertising. You're not doing a bait and switch. You're saying, no, 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 look, I'm willing to wash your house. I'll come out for the 99 bucks, and I'll wash your house. But if you want all this extra stuff done, it's going to be premium priced. And if you start there, if you're just stuck at $99, or you're stuck at, I got to charge less, pick the one thing that you can continue doing that's going to cover all your bills if you just do that one thing at that competitive price. And then literally everything else you're doing, do it at premium. And I guarantee you'll very quickly replace the income. You'll do 80% of the work is at cheap pricing, and 20% is very quickly going to catch up if that 20% is the premium. And you're going to be like, why am I doing this 80% for cheap when the 20% of my work is the same amount? And then it'll click. Then it'll finally click for you. So
I'm going to answer this question because what do you think of the response rate is looking like for an average $400 ticket? Well, first off, I'm going to tell you is let's get our average ticket up higher than that.
yeah,
That's low average ticket. And how do we get our average tickets up? That's by packages and bundles and that kind of thing. Packages, I love packages. Packages are how we get our average ticket up from 400 to 800, $1,000. And yes, you can get your average ticket up to $1,000. Actually, I was hearing the other day the 26-year-old that I interviewed last year that I'm going to get back on, Wes. His average ticket was $1,300.
yep,
that's what our goal is. And to be honest, if you're at the $400, that's probably not the customers that you're looking for. Those are not the customers that you're trying to get. The customers you want are willing to pay six, seven, $800,000 at the end of the day. And how do we get that? We do that by packages. And when we go to a house and they just call us for a house wash, we give them a quote for a window cleaning and a driveway cleaning and a deck cleaning. And when we do that, that will allow us to get our higher ticket. You will be surprised at how many people will go ahead and get the whole house cleaned and everything because they didn't even know they needed that, and you offered that service. I've seen people that the house wasn't even dirty. I've that you cleaned it and they come out and think it's the most amazing thing ever, and you might have knocked one cobweb off and that was pretty much it. But again, I it's not, you are not your customer, and we're trying to find the people that are willing to pay. And so some of that does come down to research. So how do we get higher pricing? Some of it can come down to research. If we are trying to find people that are shopping at Walmart, that's not our customer. We need to find people that are shopping at Whole Food or Nordstrom. If they're shopping at Nordstrom, I probably want their equipment. But I actually heard somebody speak this weekend. Was amazing. Her name was Debbie. I don't remember her last name. And she was the founder of Cleaning for a Reason. And so I will probably be putting a link in here eventually to help raise money for that. And they do cancer patient. But she had said that we are trying to find customers that are willing to pay for quality and also willing to pay for quality. We don't want just a customer that wants quality, but we want them to be willing to pay for quality. And
Yeah.
if they're willing to do those two things, then they will be our customer. But if they're not willing to do one or the other of those two things, they're not my customer. Because if they don't want the quality, they don't want me. If they want the quality, but they don't want to pay for it, they don't want me. So that are the two things that we need to do to make sure that we are doing and finding those customers. Now, where do we find those customers? Well, that's some things that, I talk about, going to Melissa Data and seeing, where is our high ticket, or where's our people that have high income zip codes. And, that's where we're going to market. We're not going to market in the low part of town. We're going to market in the people that have the high income. So in my Zoom call tonight, there was a guy asked, he's like, I got 25 zip code, or I got like 300 or 50 zip codes within a thing here. And I'm like, well, find the top 5 to 10 and let's start working on those zip codes. And then we can move out from there, but let's start really focusing on those zip codes that we know that are profitable. Around here in Cincinnati, or even Northern Kentucky here, Union is south of us. That's a high end area. The northeast of Cincinnati is all high end. The Cincinnati itself, not so much. Now, there's a part in Cincinnati that's called Hyde Park that's high in there. So we're trying to find those pockets where all the people that want to pay for us to have their house cleaned. Because if we go to a house and it is just dirty, nasty, green, that's probably not our customer, because they haven't paid nobody in 25 years to wash their house. And so that's probably not our customer at the end of the day. So finding those customers, and how do we find them? Well, like I said, we do a little bit of research to find them that way. We can do some trial and error. We can put signs out in different areas to see who starts calling and that. And then we can do it that way. But we got to find those customers that are willing to pay and are willing to have the quality that they need. And so those are the two things that we really got to focus on when we're trying to get our average ticket up, or to find those premium customers that are willing to pay premium pricing. Because if I
So
go to the, go
let's
ahead,
touch on real quick, like premium customer. And this goes back to Jason's saying. Jason, what's your number one saying?
raise your prices.
Raise your prices. The second one is You are not your customer.
You're not your
Okay.
customer.
You're not your customer. And here's what I mean by that. A premium customer washes their house so it does not get dirty. A cheap customer washes their house because it is dirty. Let me repeat that. All right, we're on a pressure washing channel. A premium client washes their house so it does not get dirty, which means I'm going out there 2 to 3 times a year and washing their house, and it's clean. And it's always clean because they don't want to live in a dirty home. The $99 guys are getting the people where the HOA have written them a final notice because their siding is green. Well, guess what? Their siding's also fallen off, and they also have a broken window, and this, that, and the third. And they're also going to get a million complaints, and their house is falling apart, and they're going to blame you for each and everything. A premium customer is going to say, "Thank you so much for coming out when you say you're going to come out, having nice vehicles that aren't leaking oil in my driveway." All the things that are just basic, they're paying you for that because that's what they want, right? They want a company that can put them on a schedule and come out every 6 months or every 3 months. Right now, my big thing is gutter cleaning, right? And so Jason hit one other thing and he skipped right over it. But he said we want a premium client who wants premium and is willing to pay premium. Because a lot of the $99 customers, when they finally get to spending that money, it means so much to them. Right? That $99 means so much to that client that their expectations are unrealistically high. And that's because they have a lack of money. And if one little thing goes wrong, like a branch gets broken on a tree by your ladder rack, which may or may not have happened to me this past week, they blow it up into a huge deal. Now, it doesn't matter that their trees are so overgrown that they're hanging over the driveway, that I can't pull my truck in there without hitting a branch, right? That is a mindset of somebody, one little thing goes wrong, and oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Versus, here's a program that we're doing now. Jason also talks about packages. Here's something that I'm doing right now. Free piece of advice. I won't even charge you for it, but if you want to, you can give Jason a donation in the chat, right? When we're calling the client, we're spending some time and we're asking them questions on the phone. We spend all this time and money and effort to get the client to call us. So when they finally do call us, we're slowing down. "Hey, Mrs. Jones, how are you doing today?" "Yeah, absolutely. We can help you with gutter cleaning." "Have you hired us before?" "No, you haven't." "Okay. Do you got a few minutes? I can ask you a few questions. I want to make sure that our process is a good fit for you." All right. Here's the first question. Here's the second question. Here's the third question. Okay, we really try to focus on XYZ. Is that important to you? "Oh, it is." "Okay, awesome. I'm glad because that's something that we really focus on." Let me ask you this. Would you like the debris hauled away or would you like the debris dropped? Okay, you have a natural area? Yep, we're happy to drop it right there. "Oh, you have really nice designer mulch? We're happy to haul it away for you." And I'm writing it down, I'm taking a note. I'm listening to what the client's telling me. I'm not just trying to push them one direction to buy something. I'm listening to what that client tells me. And I'm asking questions, and the client tells me, I don't want A, I want B. I want C, not D. I want E, not F. So they're telling me down the line, and I said, "Okay, awesome. Well, for your house, a one-time cleaning is going to be $500, and if you sign up for our maintenance program where we automatically come out 4 times a year, it's going to be $175. So the first cleaning is a lot, and here's also some things that you're going to get with that first cleaning above just a standard gutter cleaning. You're going to get and so essentially, when we're done with this first cleaning, we're going to ensure that your gutters are storm ready, and we're going to sign you up with a maintenance program where you're automatically scheduled. You get priority booking 4 times a year, and it's only going to be $175 after the first clean. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? "Oh my gosh, no, that's way too dang much." I said, "Oh, okay, I completely understand. I wish you the best of luck." Or, "Yeah, absolutely. Yep, sign me up." So their two options now are having it clean once a year, and then option B is having it clean 4 times a year. So the clients that ask for a discount, yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to give you a discount. I'll discount you from $500 all the way down to $175. I'm happy to give you that discount. right? So that still in both situations, I'm only accepting premium clients. And in both situations, right, they can do it one time for 500 bucks, right? Or if you take 175 and multiply that by 4, what's that? 700? Um, so so they're saving $200 if they just want to clean it one time a year. Or for just $200 more, they can have it cleaned 4 times a year, right? Um, and that right there is a premium situation. We're doing the same thing with our Christmas lights, okay? We're getting everybody tied in. Hey, pay me now. Get the clients locked in on contracts or whatever. Now I'm committed to you. The moment you commit to me, now I'm committed to you. And come hell or high water, I will take care of your house. I'm your guy. And there are people who are begging for that right now. And I guarantee you, they cannot find that level of business in your service area. And you could be that business. So here's what that's doing for me. Last year, for our gutter cleaning crew, we would have one crew that tries to do 2,000 stops. Oh my gosh, 2,000. Look, that's only, 10 a day, 50 a week times, what's that? 42 weeks in the year. How many weeks are in a year? 52 weeks. So I think that's only 40 weeks worth of work. All right. So that's 2 months off. Right. So right there is what we were trying to do in a year, but that was 2,000 stops, which is probably about 1,800 clients. Now with us doing this maintenance plan, 500 clients will go and fill those 2,000 spots. So 4 times 500 clients. So I'm cutting my clients into by 3, which means that if my closing rate was 60%, now I can close 20% and make the same amount of money or have the same amount of work on the schedule. And because we're charging more premium, it's going to add $100,000 per crew that I have on the road. And I just told you guys I got 5 crews on the road. So by offering premium, I'm cutting my client base by third, which means that I can close 2/3 less and make $100,000 more per crew. That also means that I can pay my crew more. I can give them more time off. I can buy better trucks. I can pay for more marketing. So there's so much that premium pricing does that competitive pricing does not do. And I think I'm talking too much. I don't know if anybody's asking questions, but this is something I'm really fired up about.
I want to answer this question because Big Rob asked it. Do you think bigger paying customers are more judgmental on the type of work truck you're in? Now, if you've seen this picture of what I posted today, I did that for a reason. The thumbnail is Donovan's 1990 POS $700 truck.
Hey, it's $1,000 truck. Hold your horses, Jason. And with inflation
$1,000
this year,
truck.
it's worth about 10,000.
And it has made him probably $200,000 in the last 2 years.
Look, yeah, that truck right now is one of it's one of my work trucks. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, okay? Now look, I am going to absolutely buy better vehicles because here's what's happening right now, okay? It's not that I can't afford to buy more vehicles. Now I got to spend the money or I got to pay it in taxes, okay? So I'm buying new vehicles now, not because I think that it's going to increase my blah, 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 blah. It's because if I don't spend the money, I'm going to have to give it to the government. So I might as well put it in vehicles. So that's my advice for you. Are the people more judgmental? Yeah, absolutely.
Actually,
okay?
I would say your lower price people are going to be more judgmental than your higher ticket people are.
Well, judgmental. Look, are they going to notice it? Yeah, absolutely. But I want to tell you, my first client, he lives in I was in high school or something like that. And even out of high school, I was driving I think it's a 420 Volvo hatchback station wagon or something like that. And I had my ladder strapped on this. It's an old brown Volvo station wagon. And I'm up there in his $2 million driveway. The driveway, $2 million, and his landscaping. I'm not even talking about his house. His landscaping before you get inside, $2 million. And he's coming out there talking to me. And you know what he said to me? He said, "Hey, I used to drive that car." That's what he had to say. He said, "Hey, man, I used to drive that car back when I was starting my business, this and that and the third." I think if you do everything that a premium business does, you answer your phone, you ask questions, you show value, you show up on time, you exceed expectations, you don't say no, you give them an option, right? You add value everywhere you can. And the one thing you got going against you is that you're driving a Volvo hatchback station wagon. You'll be just fine. Now, look, if you don't answer your fucking phone and you show up 3 days late and you don't have good communication and then you show up with a Volvo POS, of course they're going to judge you. But that ain't the straw that broke the camel's back.
Mr. Let's see, I'm gonna answer this one. JD South Softwash. Do you guys recommend package prices? Yes, yes, and yes. And yes.
Yep.
Which I hit on this earlier. Packages is where it's all at. If you're not offering packages, you're leaving money on the table. If you're not doing packages, I remember when I first met Don, or not probably Donovan too. He probably didn't do packages either much. But back when DJ and all he did was just the house wash, and his average ticket was like $350, $400. When he started doing packages last year, his average ticket was over $700. And so packages is definitely what you need to be doing. If you're not doing packages, you're leaving money on the table, because 9 times out
Yep.
of 10, most 50% of the people are going to pick the number 2 package, and then probably 25 is going to pick the premium, and only 25% is going to pick that low ticket price. So instead of going there for a $300 house wash, now we're coming out there at a $700 house wash versus just a $300 ticket. So it is definitely
Hey,
doing better.
hey, guys, here's another one of my rules. Here's my second rule. Maybe a lot of people have heard me say it on here. You don't do more work for less money. You do less work for less money. Let me give you a perfect example. Client called us. We didn't put up their Christmas lights. They hired somebody else, and that guy disappeared on them, right? And so we said, look, here are your two options for us coming out and taking down the lights. You can pay me $500, or I'll do it for free. If you sign up and pay the deposit on this year's Christmas light, you hire my company next year, I'll take down these lights for free. And he said, no, I'm not going to do that. I just want to go and I just want to have you take it down. If I hire you for power washing, would you do it for less? And a lot of people would be like, oh, wow, get more business. No, 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 no. That means that I would agree to do more work. Now I'm taking down his lights and power washing his house. I don't care if I'm making more dollars. I'm making less dollars per service by doing more work. No, absolutely not. That's breaking my rule number 2. Okay. You don't do more work for less money. So that goes back to also my first rule, which is you're allowed one competitive price service. Okay. Now, when you're doing packages, that automatically means that you got a higher chance of closing premium services if you follow my first rule, because all of your other services, washing the windows or scrubbing the gutters, is ridiculously premium priced so that you can give them a ridiculously high quality service because you're going to be out there for longer, right? So by offering packages, you will automatically make more profit because you're only allowed one competitive price thing. Everything else is premium. And for me personally, year one, I had a service, a brand new service, year one. We just offered the client what they specifically asked for. My average ticket was $700. Year two, I offered them everything I could think of that I was willing to do within that service category. And I promise you, I can show you the numbers. It went from $700 year one average ticket to $1,700 the second year, simply by offering packages.
Packages, packages, packages. Um, we got some questions. Let's see, what time is it? Mr. We got just joined. I know what. Can you give an example of a package? So, for instance, this was a package. These are some packages. These are the ones I kind of like. Was package A is an exterior house wash. Package B is exterior window cleaning. Package C is a driveway cleaning. There, I just went from $300 house wash, and that's just up to 2,000 square foot house, to $150 exterior window cleaning to a $300 driveway cleaning. So now I just went $750 versus just offering the $300 house wash. And that's how a package can look.
Jason, can you bring up Robert Scott asked a question or made a comment? The numbers Donovan was talking about. Okay, yeah. So that right there, the numbers Donovan was talking about, almost makes me want to find a math genius to do evaluations when it comes to profit margins and raising prices and how much work I can now cut. All right, Robert. Look, I think your comment is an indicator that you don't have a good CRM or your CRM doesn't have good reports.
Robert
Um,
is pretty smart here. Now I'm gonna have to give him that.
okay,
Robert actually hires a lot of subcontractors and have them do the work, and he makes all the money. Um, for instance, Christmas lights. He started late in the season, and I think he almost did 20 or 30,000. And he told the customers that his starting ticket was $1,500 and went from there.
nice,
So,
nice. So,
so
so Robert, make sure you dive into your reports. That's something that I do. Like for another thing, every year I raise my pricing. So if you can dive into your CRM reports and break it down, like look at all your different services, however you have it broken down, and that right there, especially if you can do time tracking and stuff like that, those reports should tell you, look, if I increase my pricing 10% on this one service, that's actually going to double, triple, add $100,000. You know what I mean? So you can go into your reports and you know, and that's where that math genius comes in. And if you don't understand it, hopefully you can get somebody who's good at reading those reports but make sure you're tracking it all in your CRM. So that's another plug right there. Make sure you're able to track your metrics somehow. So that if you can go and look at it and do evaluations, or like Robert is saying, hire somebody who can come in and look at your numbers.
so I just came back from Charlotte. I got Charlotte in my head because I met a bunch of people from Charlotte this past week. I don't know why Charlotte, but there was a couple from Charlotte there, in Arizona, in Phoenix, and when I was there for training. And yes, I went to Phoenix to learn. I didn't set a booth up. Um, I didn't do none of that stuff. I went. DJ and I both went, and he got a lot out of it. And so that is definitely something that, how have I been able to get higher prices? How have I figured out how to get higher prices? And how I figured out how to get higher prices is not just Jason's a genius and that's all I do. So I learn every day. I still try to figure things out. I pay for training. I do the things that I need to do to make my business successful. And, have I failed at things? Absolutely 100% I've failed. But I haven't failed. That was just a learning experience that cost me more because I didn't go learn that skill somewhere else, and I decided I could do that skill on my own, and it looked like crap, and that was my learning experience. School of Hard Knocks is a school that will work for sure for you to start growing and growing your pressure washing business, but do
Years.
what?
10 years. School
10
Hard
years.
Knocks took me 10, 15 years.
10, 15 years to learn the School of Hard Knocks. But School of Hard Knocks is a way to learn. I'm not knocking it, but there's ways to learn faster. And I've learned that even the older I get, even now in this business, I'm learning that, I pay for things. I go to training because I want to grow my business so I can help more people and help more people be successful. And how do I do that? When I can learn, you learn. And that's not the only way I want you to learn, but I want you to learn other ways. Reading books. I'm reading a great book right now. Especially, it's a good book even for brand new people. It's the gain and shoot, I can't think of the loss and the gain. Nope, that ain't it. But it's something with the gain in it. I can look it up here shortly. But it is all about looking at what we have done, not looking at what we tried to do. And, I can look at, I want to do $1 million and I only did 600,000. But I can look at the loss and say, "Oh, I suck. I only did 600. I want to do 1 million." But then I can look at what I did last year and I only did 300,000. And so instead of looking at, "Hey, we doubled our business," versus I suck because I didn't hit the goal I wanted to hit. And so we are putting together stuff to help you start and grow a business and be successful. And so I want to hit on that a little bit. Of this coming March, Donovan and I are going to be doing a pressure washing 101 class, which is a hands-on. You get to touch the pressure washer, you get to do the pressure washing, and then we do a marketing day, and then we do a Christmas lights 101. So it's how to do the bulbing, how to do the clipping, how to get it on the house, all of that. And then the next week, we're going to do a landscape lighting class with Ryan Lee and an advanced Christmas light class. With the advanced Christmas light class, that will be all the stuff for how to get your business to the next level. The advanced Christmas light class isn't for the person that's just starting out. This class is going to help you get to, the six-figure, multiple six-figure, and the things that you need to do to make that happen. All three of us have done very well in Christmas lights. We talked to a lot of other people. We got a bunch of people coming in. And so these are some things that we will be doing for that. So I just wanted to plug this real quick of what you can do in the pressure washing 101, Christmas light 101. I will put the link here in the bottom here shortly. But Donovan, what's your thought on this stuff?
Um, First off, Jason and I don't need you guys' money. I mean, we will be successful without that, and I always want to start with that, right? Jason and I do not need you guys to pay for this class for us to be successful. Whereas a lot of people who do training, they absolutely do need it. Here's the other thing. There's a lot of people who do training who have not done what they are training you to do, right? One thing that I like when Jason and I get together, Jason has built a business, sold a business, moved on, and now he networks with hundreds of business owners across the country. So when he gives a piece of advice, he has a huge pool of information to draw from, and he's saying, these are the trends for right now. When he says, I think you guys should be focusing on XYZ this year, not ABC, it's not just Jason's opinion. It's the information that Jason has got from a class that he just spent this past weekend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars going to this class, right? And all the other training that he pays for. And here's the other thing that I know about Jason that he probably won't tell you. Jason spends what you're spending on these classes. He spends more than that paying for his mentorship, that he has mentors and he has classes that he goes to. So I want to start off by saying that. And the other thing is that I'm in the fight with you guys right now. Okay. So you get the hands-on from somebody who's been there, done it, and graduated from it. And then somebody who's in the fight, in the trenches right now with what I'm actually doing, seeing my actual numbers and going and seeing real job sites. So that's what I want to say when we're talking about our training versus another training. Okay. Here's the other thing. We don't, we want the people who come to this training to take it for all it's worth and run with it. And that's why it's not cheap. I'm going to be quite honest with you. Jason and I do not excel at trainings where there's hundreds and hundreds of people there. That's not where we thrive. We go and we're looking for 20 people to show up. That's what we want, okay? And we want to be able to spend the time with each and every person and just really work your business model and answer your questions and get you to that next step. And that's also another reason why we're dividing it out, right? And and I hope this doesn't just like sound like BS to you guys. When I try to tell somebody to do something, I also try to tell them why. And so that I want you guys to know our motivation behind putting on this class because look, there was a day last year I looked up, I was sitting down talking to somebody and I looked it up and I made over $50,000 that day. And so, look, I can make more money going out and focusing on my business than what everybody will pay put together combined for this class. And we have a ton of expenses in this class, not counting all the speakers and stuff like that that we're breaking in, and we're paying everybody to come here. So, the benefit for us is not just this is our only option of making money. We're really trying to make it as big of a bang for the buck as everybody possible. Like Jason said, we're doing introduction to power washing, introduction to Christmas lights. You can sign up for all 3 days or just 2 of those days and get all the business mojo that applies to businesses that first weekend in March. Or you can do the lighting accelerator class where you can get, we're focusing on year round lighting through landscape lighting, permanent lighting, event lighting, commercial lighting. There's so many cool things and so many cool speakers that we're bringing in for our lighting accelerator. So if you have an existing Christmas light business, and you've done, I want to say at least 30, 40, 50,000 minimum, not you've got, you did 5 grand and you've done 3 houses and 2 of them were your family members, right? So you have an established business and you're ready to launch it to the next level. We're bringing speakers in who are going to talk about this is how you get a 6-figure job, and this is how you take that one job, that 6-figure commercial job, and it can turn into a 7-figure job over the next 5 years. We're having 2 different speakers come in who are doing that actively all across the country. And the other thing that they have is they have jobs right now that they are looking to partner with people with. So the cost to come to this class, you can very well get a job at the class that's going to way exceed that. And quite honestly, for that second weekend in March, our lighting accelerator, I don't want you coming if you're brand new and embarrassing me because I'll put my neck on the line getting these speakers to come in. I don't want you guys showing up and be like, how do you screw in a bulb? And they're trying to teach you how to close $1 million job. So please do not sign up for Lighting Accelerator if you're brand new. And because I will also embarrass you because I'm going to look at that list. And if you don't have a Christmas light business, I'm going to be like, bro, you can't come. You got to come to the newbie class first. So we have a method behind this. And we got a lot of thought and planning has gone into these 2 classes that we're putting on in March.
He put, I got hosed with airfare during a training with Jason and Donovan, spent the quality time to make it worth my while. And he put, I can attest to this. So this is something that I want you all to be successful. I want you to get off on the right foot. Like I say, I went to the responsive bid, and Kurt had put out there that every time they give something away for free, usually nobody ever uses that system at that point. And in fact, one of the guys that won award for the most bids was one of the guys that he had given it for free. And he was like, this is probably the first time that something that we've given away for free that actually did something with it to change his life. Because if you don't play, you don't always want to do it. Can you find everything on YouTube? Absolutely, 100%. Are you going to do what you need to do with it? Probably not. But I want to push you all. I want you all to be successful. I want you to be hitting. I want you to get out of that 9-to-5 job. I want you to get out of that $20 an hour job, and because you can come here, do this, and you can make 100 grand, 6 figures. We got several people that have taken our class that are doing well over 6 figures by doing this, and so it is something that I want you to be able to do. Do I give a lot of free information out here online? Absolutely.
Wait.
In fact, pretty much probably everything I say has been said sometime or another here on YouTube or YouTube Live. But that doesn't mean that you're going to listen and take that information and do anything.
But we got a baby on the way. I can't make her any more pregnant.
How many more days you got before baby comes?
Due in April. So if we got an early baby, man, maybe right in the middle of the class. I don't know. I think all my kids have been a little late though.
That's
Uh,
good because we need
yeah, they
Mama to
come home
help.
to do later after. So
We need Mama to help because she does amazing work for all the meals and everything. And that's the thing too, guys. When we do your classes and you get paid when you come here, it's not in there. But we do all your meals. You'll get dinner 2 nights out of it. You'll get lunch every day out of it. We provide breakfast every day, the whole 9 yards. So when
yep.
is the Orlando training? The Orlando training is actually full. And it will be February 12th and 13th, but that class is filled. So, any words of advice for anybody before we jump off here, Donovan?
Um, well, I'll share a little bit more about my personal story, kind of like where we're at today. It has been a goal of mine for going on 2 years. Right at the start of COVID, I did the numbers and everything else, and I said I'm going to have 5 crews. I'm going to have 5 crews with 2 guys each, and I'm going to have 3 office ladies. And that's going to mean that my wife doesn't have to come and work. That's going to mean that I don't have to be in the office every single day. And what happened is COVID hit, and I had legitimate reason for not hiring anybody. And I said, well, I don't know what's going to happen with COVID, so we're just going to, as a team, come together. We're gonna batten down the hatches. We're going to ride this thing out. And my business still doubled that year without hiring anybody. And then whatever the next thing came, and then it's like, oh, everybody's getting stimulus checks, and everybody's getting this, and everybody's getting that, and now it's tough to hire people. And what started as like a legitimate reason, hey, COVID, I can't hire new people with COVID, turned into a bunch of excuses for me to not hit my goal. And it took me 2 years for me to quit lying to myself. It turned into a lie to myself. It was really just bullshit that I was telling myself for not going out and doing whatever it took to find and hire or train the best people that I possibly could to grow my business. And so it got to a point where I was sick and tired of it. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And halfway through March, halfway through my Christmas light season, I was like, look, I'm hiring folks. I'm going to do it. And so we went through 30, 40 guys like doing trial runs. I mean, even more that I phone interviewed and sit down interviewed. And I was just plugging them in. And if they didn't cut it, I was cutting loose the dead weight. And I was just getting rid of people left and right. But also, what does it take to get 30 to 40 guys to show up for a trial run? I was doing all of that. And so what that has turned into is now it's the end of July or end of January, and we have 4. Hopefully this week I'll be starting my 5th crew. And so the excuses that I made for 2 years, I completely blew my goal away in 2 months. Right. So if your business is not growing, you need something to kick you in the pants. Maybe that's training. Maybe it's just maybe talking to me, or maybe it's whatever. But what that has turned into is some pretty cool stuff. I really think that when this kid comes, my wife will no longer have to be in the office running the admin. She'll have an option. Do I want to come in today, or do I not want to come in today? And that's all I've ever wanted. It's not something that I don't want to work with my wife, but I don't want that to be the only option. If she doesn't work, our business is gonna get hurt, right? And the same thing for me. So I personally have not been in the office in the last 2 weeks. I've been able to do all my business with phone calls here and there throughout the day. So I'm training people in the field without me doing the training. Now I have foremen who are taking control of the training, and I don't even have to train the brand new guys. That is something that I would have never 2 months ago. There's no way I could have predicted that. But what it stemmed from is quit making excuses for my excuses, and just taking responsibility for it. And some really cool things have come through that. And that's what I wish for everybody is, whatever your goals are, they could be huge goals, like going from 1 employee, right, and a few part-timers 2 months ago to now 5 crews. Good crews too. I can show you some photos of these guys like up on the roof, wearing safety stuff, like doing stuff the right way. I never would have guessed that 2 months ago. So Whatever's holding you guys back, quit making excuses. And I'm going to end on that one.
Awesome. Well, go check it out, and we'll see you all later.